Our next talk is going to be about the untold story of N26. So for those of you who don't know N26, it is a mobile bank currently shaking up banking industry in Europe. They have almost 1 million customers in 17 markets. So this talk originally was planned to have 2 people here. One of them, the CEO and co-founder, Valentin, who is unfortunately sick and couldn't come on short notice. But thankfully, the second speaker is here and is going to tell the same story. His name is Georg Hauer. He is the managing director for Austria and the director for growth in Germany with N26. And previously, he was one of the managing directors with Uber. And he will tell you the story about where N26 came from, how did they get where they are now, and give you a little bit of an outlook from the evolvement of the startup. So please welcome with me on stage, Georg Hauer.
Hi. Hi, I'm super excited to be here. Sorry that our co-founder couldn't make it. If you're excited to get in touch with him and the rest of our team, please contact me right after this presentation. Who of you knows N26? I'm very happy to see that. And I'm even more happy to tell you that this spring and this summer, N26 is entering a completely new level of growth. We're entering a new stage. Many of you are startup founders. And all of you know every startup starts with product validation. Then comes scaling. And now we are entering the third stage, where it comes to how do we scale globally, super fast, super lean, but at the same time, truly understand the local market needs. So N26 today has almost 1 million customers in 17 European markets. But how did we actually get there? Because it wasn't an easy path. And as a matter of fact, we hit many roadblocks, and there were many people along the way, many investors and many advisors that brought N26 to where we are right now. So in 2012, it all started with a problem. 2 guys born and raised in Vienna, studied here, studied in Switzerland, and worked in Germany. They had one problem. Every single time they moved to another city, they had to change their bank account. And there was one clear learning from that. Every single banking product sucks. And switching from one banking product to another is probably the worst experience you could possibly imagine. It's literally as if you imagine that banking is the grandmother of all industries. While other industries had been completely disrupted by technology in the past decade or past 18 years, banking literally stayed the same across decades. And the reason for that is not just because other banks are lazy. It's because it's a super heavily regulated industry. And banks never felt the pressure from customers that there is a need to move. Because if there is no competition from who bring new innovation and new approaches to the industry, the traditional players just say, we're best off with just not moving. And that changed. That changed completely. it of course started with an idea. So I could tell you now, at some sunny day in 2012, two random guys from Vienna decided, let's found a bank. However, that would be a lie. How N26 really started was that those two random guys from Vienna said, hey, how do kids pay? How do teenagers pay for their train rides if they don't have cash with them? So the actual original idea of N26 was, how can we enable parents to give pocket money to their kids? And that was the original pitch of N26. That was the original pitch how the angel investors were approached and asked for roughly $500,000 US. N26 at that point, it was called Papaya, completely different name. Papaya means Papa Payer. And essentially, the product was launched. And the first 3 months, what every good startup does, we test it. And the key learning of the tests was remarkable. And that's why, for any startup founder, testing, analyzing data, and really understanding the product market fit is probably one of the most crucial skills you will need for any successful founding story. Because the key learning was 85% of the users of this banking product were not the teenagers, but were the parents. Because the parents wanted to have a better banking experience and were even willing to make a workaround and use a teenage banking app rather than their traditional bank, especially for traveling, for example. As a matter of fact, the majority of customers were not even parents. They didn't have kids. They just used it. So they went again. Now we realized this isn't working. I mean, potentially, yes, it is working, but we're essentially designing a product which isn't meeting the market needs. So we went to the angel investors again and said, thank you for your money. We keep it, but we need your support because we want now to build a completely different product. We want to build a bank. And fortunately, angel investors are not investing into products. Good angel investors investing into teams. And the team of N26 was, fortunately, not just solid and strong, but had won the trust of the investors that were able to move forward. And that is how N26 was born. Then came the second funding round. Product was launched. The original N26 product, the current account with push-up notifications, that was the original N26 product, was launched with less than $500,000 US. The product market fit was there. We realized we can become much bigger than what we're doing right now. So seed funding came. Fortunately, again, investors invested into the team and really liked what they saw. They really liked the growth rates. And we received $2 million. Interestingly, many startups say the most important funding round was the angel investment round or was their seed funding. For N26, the most important funding round was, however, the A series. Why? Because so far, we're still speaking of, we want to build a financial product. We want to build an app. We want to make banking prettier, better experience. There wasn't really much talking about, let's completely shake up the industry. Let's ensure that every single bank manager in all of Europe knows our name and has nightmares about it. There's no talk about that. But this funding round was not just the most important one, but was also the fastest one. How did it go? Peter Thiel in California had heard of N26, called to Berlin, asked for a meeting. They met in Berlin. There was a 3-hour meeting where two founders described what is N26, what is the vision. 3 hours. After that, there was, let's say in the morning, there was a break in between. Then there was a dinner where they had prepared already the term sheet for $10 million US. That was more than they had ever imagined. As a matter of fact, N26 at that point wanted less than that. However, with this funding, we realized we can do so much more than we'd ever envisioned. And at that day, the vision that we really want to build, not just build a banking product, but actually become a proper, fully licensed bank. This vision was confirmed and validated. And this meant, suddenly, we need another office. Our office for 13 people is too small. And we probably also need a new branding strategy, because at that point, everything was essentially done internally. There wasn't put much thought in how we are present in the market. So this was the turning point where everything changed. The next funding round was actually more difficult to get. It took longer because there are more, let's say, much more stakeholders involved. However, for the $40 million US we received a month prior to getting the banking license. At that point, N26 was already a pretty sure bet. There wasn't as much risk involved anymore as in a Series A. Series A, literally, we didn't know whether N26 would have existed another year. Now, we were a fully licensed bank, as well regulated and audited as Deutsche Bank or Commerzbank. There is absolutely no differentiation regulation for N26 or Commerzbank. And as many of you might know, the next funding round enabled us to step up the game. So what did we achieve? We were now a fully licensed bank with even we have deposit protection of 100,000 euros for every single customer. The same service that every bank, every traditional bank can offer. And suddenly, banks became aware of us. Yes, we are still a fintech. As a matter of fact, we are still a fintech. But suddenly, banks realized, oh shit, they're a bank. They're not just an app, because banks tend to ignore apps. Suddenly, we're a regulated bank. We are sitting at the same table as Commerzbank. Series C, in end of March, 6-7 weeks ago, we announced that we raised now $160 million US. Here, as I said, we really wanted to step up the game because we are entering a new growth phase. We had two major lead investors, Allianz and Tencent. Tencent representing the highly innovative investor side who has been investing successfully in many international startups. At the same time, Allianz, a very traditional company who is very trustworthy, but at the same time, not just investors, but also customers know if Allianz is willing to invest into N26, N26 is here to stay on the long term. So in total, we raised now $215 million US. And what does the future bring? As I said, we are entering a new stage of growth. First, product validation, then scaling, European-wide, one product, one size fits all steered from our headquarters in Berlin. Now, we're going local. We do not only want to become the best European banking product. We do not only want to become the best global banking product. We want to become the best local banking product as well. We want to be not just at every single smartphone in this room. We want to be at every single smartphone in every single road in Vienna, in Paris, in Toulouse, in Milan, in Turin, in every single, not just capital, we want to be in all over Europe. We want to be in train stations. We want to be where people see us. And we've always one key message. We don't bullshit around. We want to provide you with the best banking experience you can possibly imagine. The best banking experience you deserve. Because we think the way banks treated you and me, personally, as a customer, is not the way customers should be treated. That's why we're going local, to listen to market needs, to truly understand what is the best product that we can deliver for customers in Austria, the best product we can deliver in Germany, in France, and, very exciting, soon also in the UK, and a little bit later in the United States. Where does will this journey lead us? I think if we learned one thing across this journey is, first of all, you really have to listen to customers. You have to truly understand what they want and focus on exactly that and nothing else. Because simplicity was always the main focus of N26. We don't provide bullshit. We provide you with exactly what you want. The second key learning was testing is probably the most important thing any startup can do. And it doesn't matter whether you're a two-people show who is working out of a garage, or if you're right now, as N26 right now has 450 employees in Berlin. It doesn't matter. In fact, if N26 grows to 10 times the size of customers, we'll probably only grow by 50, 60% in terms of staff. But testing remains always at core what people need to do. You invest a little bit of effort in every single channel, and no matter whether it's marketing or whether it's product. You really understand what is working and what is not working, and then you step up your game and go full in. The third key message is the team is everything. With a good team, you win. With a bad team, you lose, no matter how good your product is. N26 did not start as a bank. N26 became a bank because we listened to the customers, and we adapted accordingly. And because the trust was there with the investors, we were able to transform this entire industry and are where we are right now. And more excitingly, we have the full support over the next year to completely change the entire industry across Europe. That's why we're very excited about your feedback. I'm very excited to get to know many of you. Please approach me either today or later on. Very happy to have a chat with you. And your opinion is most valuable, of course, if you're N26 customers. That's why we have a special offer for you tonight, because we know that many of you are traveling, heavily traveling, and that's why we give away the first 6 months of our premium card, N26 Black, for free with this code, Pioneers'18, same code as the Wi-Fi password. It's valid until Sunday night. Then it's switched off. This is an offer which we don't give away easily, but your opinion really matters to us. We want that you try out. If you haven't tried out N26 Black yet, please try it out. Tell us how you like it. Tell us what you think are the most important points. We still have to optimize to make it the perfect product, the best available banking product, not just today, but also in future, in your local markets. Thank you.
All right, so we have a little time for questions. You can use Slido on the slido.com with the hashtag Pioneers'18, or you can ask me. I will have a mic to run around. So let's take the first question. Are you going to offer Austrian IBANs soon?
Yeah. We would love to do this literally tomorrow. It's quite a long process, but I'm very happy to inform you as soon as there is news on that side. At the same time, when I'm saying we want to go local, yes, we want to go fully local. We want to become a local bank.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Because it came up. Do you feel it's important to have local IBANs? Is it like as part of the?
In fact, it's legally it's not required at all, because you can do everything with a German IBAN. In Austria in general. In fact, some people, for example, in Spain or Italy, some people really like having a German IBAN because they know you have a German deposit protection and not a Spanish one. However, this is actual customer feedback. However, at the same time, we think you should be able to choose. So that's why I think this is going to be an important step.
All right, then there's an interesting question. Why did you decide to change the name from Papaya to N26?
Well, if you think about this, is actually it's written not like that. It's Papa Payer, right? So it literally is meant to be a pocket money app. So that's why we had to change it. If you've ever wondered why N26. Who has wondered what N26 means? All right. So I would say that the name is let's say the naming story is a lot less inspiring than some of the other stories of startups. However, essentially, two co-founders sitting at a table, not knowing how to name a product, and rolling a dice. Literally, exactly, rolling a dice. And the dice was a Rubik's Cube. And the Rubik's Cube consists of exactly 26 little cubes, colorful cubes around it. And that's when they said, hey, why don't we name it Rubik's Cube? And I said, well, that's a brand. We can't name it like that. But what if we call it just number 26? So that's why it was called number 26. And as soon as we got the banking license, we said, you know what? We're gonna stick to our value of simplicity and shorten it to N26. And by the way, for all those startups who are still searching for domain names, nowadays, every single domain that ends in com that has 3 letters is taken. There's no combination left. Numbers are still available.
Okay. By the way, if you want to ask questions the traditional way, I have a mic. Just raise your hand so I can see you. We'll continue with Slido questions. There's a question that is interesting. Will you enter the market for businesses?
In fact, we are already there, partially at least, maybe with half a step. We offer accounts for freelancers and single-person entities. However, the one thing we don't do right now is legal entities. I'm actually asked these questions a lot from traditional banks because they say, please tell us that we are not, I mean, the question is different. They frame it, please tell us that you're not entering the business market because that's actually where we really make money. Fortunately, we can tell them, for now, we really want to focus on what we can do best and and expand in our current market, and that is obviously retail banking. At the same time, on the long run, we want to become the best bank anywhere, and if we think that this is a viable market where we should enter, I think we will do it.
Okay, we have a question here in the audience. Here. So, go ahead, please.
Hi, just one question on the Allianz investment. Can you comment on whether you will develop some products together or whether you just take their money for expansion?
Yeah. So generally, all investors are not only financial investors. Many of them consider them as strategic investors, but at the same time, we're still a very founder-driven company. We are not dependent on any of our investors, and one example of how we collaborate with Allianz is that we offer the travel insurance. Part of our N26 Black account has the full Allianz World Travel insurance there. And you would get it much cheaper through N26 than if you would go to Allianz. At the same time, and this is something surprising many people don't know, is we do not have any exclusivity deal with Allianz. Meaning, if we have the feeling that another insurance provides us with even a better product, we would probably do that. Which is why we make sure Allianz understands the pressure to always innovate and make sure their products are, like the travel insurance, is the best one on the market.
All right, Georg, we're running out of time, but one question because it has many upvotes. What do you think of your competitors like Revolut?
Actually, we really like Revolut. Why? Because any fintech creates discussion. Our real competitors, our real challengers, are those people who are really happy with their traditional banks. And hence, as long as we can happily say that we have the best banking product on the market, competitors like Revolut, but also others, in fact, there are many really solid players in Asia and also in the US. We make sure that we stay upfront at innovation, and we take the pressure from other competitors to innovate every single day and become better every single day, and ensure that in the long run, we can deliver the best banking product out there for you.
All right, I think it's a nice ending sentence because we're now out of time. Georg, thank you very much for being here. Please give it up for Georg. Thank you very much.
Thank you.